shaping policy formation. By giving due consideration to the issues related to the theme in policy development, Kudumbashree can continue to evolve as a powerful force for women's empowerment and community development in Kerala, ultimately leading to positive outcome for all its members and the broader society. We have our moderator for the plenary session 5, Dr. Mridul Epan, Associate Fellow at the Center for Development Studies, Trivandrum, Kerala. She has worked on textile industry, particularly the handloom sector and the automobile industry. More recently, her work has been in the areas of employment and rural transformation, specifically on rural industrialization, and has published several national and international papers. Welcome, ma'am. Please be seated, ma'am. Yeah, they will join, ma'am. And we have a keynote speaker, Srimati Mini Sukumar, Member, State Planning Board, Kerala. Welcome, ma'am. And we have Dr. T.K. Anandi, Consultant, State General Council, Kerala, Sociologist and Activist, Member of Gender Park Governing Body, former Gender Advisor, Government of Kerala. Welcome, ma'am. Without any delay, over to the moderator, Dr. Mridul Epan, Associate Fellow at the Center for Development Studies, Trivandrum, Kerala.
Good afternoon to all. And I know we are running very late. And so I've been told that this session has only 30 minutes. So there are two speakers, 10 minutes each. And I'll also try to take less than 10 minutes so that they get a little more. So I'm so happy to be here. I mean, there's absolutely no, no doubts about how excited we feel about Kudumbashree and what it has done for women. Its 25th year of inception and its potential in crafting strategies and shaping policy formulation. This is what we're discussing today. The potential of collectives in crafting strategies and policy formulation. So since morning, we've been reading about all the positive things that have happened and how Kudumbashree has grown, from a very small entity in 1998. That was the year in which a seminar was presented at the Center for Development Studies on Kudumbashree, and we were all very excited by the program. And it has grown so phenomenally after that. But as people pointed out, there are certain limitations. We have to upgrade, we have to improve its functioning, primarily because women should earn a little more. Or maybe women should earn quite a bit more, because we saw some occupations within Kudumbashree are paying a very low amount to women. And this is a major problem. How can we use the collectivity to bargain for higher wages for these women? That is one important question that we have before us. How can we use them? All those dust waste collectors and all those, but everybody else also has to join in with the understanding that they really have to, it's unjust to pay them so little. So in my view, the biggest achievement of Kudumbashree has been pulling out women from the households, from the homes, from the kitchen, out into the public space. And together with decentralized governance, now we find that there is a lot of presence of Kerala women in public space. But of course, as we know, I'm not going to go into those details. There are certain spaces, there are certain times that women cannot step out. It's not very safe. So I'm not going into that. But certainly women are now much more in the public space than they used to be earlier. Now, we know that collectives of women, why do we talk about collectives of women? Because they're assuming a very significant role in sustaining employment and decent incomes in the current world of changing work, driven by the neoliberal agenda, exacerbated by the pandemic. And especially for women, it has, all the studies have shown it has intensified household work and it's probably robbed them of whatever paid work they had. And it has been much more difficult for women to get back to work than for men. So increasing technology, jobs disappearing, women not knowing much about the new technology, and with low, intermittent, uncertain wages and political and practically no social security. So collectives, why do we talk about collectives? Because with their perspective of social and community commitment, have to be encouraged in this dismal work situation to ensure some semblance of decent work to women and their rights to organize. So these are the very important components of why we want to talk in terms of collectives. Now, I have prepared quite a lot, but I'll just state my sort of first thoughts on how can we actually strategize for changing or bringing about change in policies which affect our functioning. Now, one of the major things that I could think of, given the deep penetration of Kudumbashree into homes and households, they can play a very important role in sensitizing all members of the household on gender. You know how work has to be distributed fairly and equally among all members of the gender. Women should have voices, children should have voices. Transgender persons are there. I'm not leaving them out. So transgender persons all have to have equal say, or all have to have a say in decision making in the households. So, as somebody said in the morning, democratization of the household is very necessary. And here, Kudumbashree members themselves can play a very important role, because they are in more than half the households in Kerala. So groups of 3 or 4 members can go house to house and sensitize the members of the family towards the injustice or the gender injustice, and therefore sensitize them to the stereotype gender roles, and how it's very necessary for women also to transform their position in society. They should be free of violence. They should get equal pay. All those things is what I mean by transformation. So that's the first thing I think very important for a transformation or a change in policy formulation would come about if there is this huge effort on the part of the Kudumbashree members to sensitize the households, starting with the households they belong to. The second thing is, it was also mentioned in the morning, use its collective voice to wrest changes in policy frameworks. I'll mention only one here, like the JLGs. We heard how difficult it is for the JLGs to keep renewing their leasing arrangements. Can we have a policy? Can we push our voices to formulate a policy which makes it easy for the Kudumbashree JLGs to lease in on easy conditions? The second thing there are other activities where somebody mentioned in the morning about professionalization. Also, I think these training programs, professional programs, can we make them much more appropriate and much more gender sensitive? Third, perhaps the most critical, I'll end with that, is to access political power and make their voices heard. And that's the best way to make your voices heard, if you're sitting in with political power. Now, a strong political participation of women is critical for democratic governance. We know that, we're reading about it, and we have evidence of it. However, girls and women throughout the world continue to be marginalized from the political spheres, especially at the higher levels. And due to we know there are lots of problems in the institutional and familial problems which prevent them from entering and of course political, which prevent them from entering the higher levels of political power. However, reversing discriminatory policies and practices is possible and has been done. There are very interesting papers how with small political participation or organization of women, so many changes have been brought out in different small changes, but it has been possible to bring out those changes. So we must remember that the elections held to the LSGs of Kerala in 2020, more than 7,000 of the 21,000 and odd elected representatives were members of Kudumbashree. So they already have some political clout at the local level. But now with the reservation of women in the legislatures, whenever it happens, that's also a very dicey issue. When does it happen? We don't know. 2029. They say judicious networking could make this a powerful instrument to reverse discriminatory practices, particularly in law. However, there's a previso to it. The delimitation exercise to be carried out before this happens will reduce the strength of women. We should remember that. It will reduce the strength of women MPs from the South, and consequences of this may not be as desired. So these are all the problems which are attached to this. But I think that it has given us an opportunity to actually also fight for greater political governance, or a greater role in political governance. I'll stop here, and I will now invite Mini Sukumar. Mini Sukumar is the member, State Planning Board of Kerala, who's the keynote speaker. So Mini.
Good afternoon, respected Chair, Professor Madhulipan, my co-speaker, Dr. Anandi, dear friends. Considering the limitation of the time, I am just concentrating on a few slides and my reflections on how Kudumbashree can move forward after this, completing this 25 years. So regarding Kudumbashree, I am very thankful to the team, Trishur team, the DMC, Monisha, and all other people who are working here in the district mission for inviting me for this conference and giving me the chance to interact with you. And also I'm congratulating them to have such a big international event on behalf of Kudumbashree, representing the women from the Kudumbashree network and also sharing some of the findings of the research studies based on the work of Kudumbashree. So it's a very interesting as well as important moment for all of us to look back to how Kudumbashree has grown up into such a dimension and becoming an integral part of Kerala society. So regarding the moving forward, I just want to contextualize how Kudumbashree is located in the larger discourse of Kerala development as well as the gender in Kerala development, and how the formation and growth of Kudumbashree is very important and very in that journey. So in that case, we can just remember that it's only like to remind you certain points that during the 1960s, especially from the beginning of the decentralization process and the People's Plan campaign, gender became a major policy concern. So almost all major schemes and programs now actively engaging with the gender issues in Kerala or with the women's well-being in Kerala has been started during that period or after that period. So gender became a major policy concern. And it has a background also. During that period, from 1980s onwards, there was a larger social critique about the achievements of Kerala model development. So that critique was mainly came from the gender circles or the people who are working with women's issues or the who are working with the principles of feminist social analysis. They already put forward certain very important points for critiquing the Kerala model development, for the absence of women in the public sphere, the lower work participation rates for women, and also the larger influence of certain social customs and practices which is inhibiting women actively participating in the social and family in the domestic sphere in spite of their higher level of education. So that was a major concern during that time. And it was also brought forward by this new social movements which are coming from different fields of different ideologies and different political affiliations. And that created a political environment which created the gender question very important. So during that process, the government also responded to the decentralization process, also responded to that need of the hour, and it came as a central theme of the decentralization process. So during that period and within that context, Kudumbashree came. The Kudumbashree was established as part of that larger level of discussions at different levels, part of the Gram Sabhas, part of this development seminars and many other types of discussions. After that, Kudumbashree has came up as a network of mainly for poverty eradication in the beginning, but through women, the approach was like that only. Then it was grown up into different levels. So we can see that from 1990s onwards or towards the end of 1990s onwards, we can see that the government of Kerala is trying to institutionalize gender into its institutional mechanisms. And that part of that, the gender responsive planning and budgeting also become important. And it also become very central concern of the government. So basically, the current government or the government schemes are following a general approach of gender mainstreaming, in which the building up gender responsive policy approaches are getting very important importance, and also integrating gender perspective into specific programs and all over all together into the consideration of development. That is one thing. And also giving access, participation, safety and well-being are the core values of this developmental process. So ensuring women access, participation, safety and well-being, that is the general approach of the government. Sorry. So the government's commitment to gender justice. 5 more minutes. So I am skipping all these things. So government. Okay. So the priorities of the government, because we are talking about the policy formulations, I am talking about the government approach. The priorities of government is mainly on ending violence against women and increasing the rate of female work participation, strengthening the existing systems like Kudumbashree, decentralization, and many other gender-specific schemes and programs. So strengthening those which are already existing, and also creating gender-friendly public spaces, services, and facilities. So that will be the major concern. So reflecting from our own experience of Kudumbashree and other programs, I think we have to think about how Kudumbashree can reimagine the process of going forward. So what are the areas in which Kudumbashree has to make a change, and Kudumbashree has to attempt a revamping or restructuring in its own program and its own ongoing programs, and formulating new programs. So I think three major things I want to specifically emphasizing. That is the strengthening the role of Kudumbashree network as a mechanism for engendering local development and governance. Still now, we know that Kudumbashree is the major mechanism which is helping the local governments for different things. But we have to, the Kudumbashree has to strengthen that relationship formally as an expert professional agency at the local level who is equipped with giving a leadership role in terms of formulating projects, and also identifying gaps, and also identifying the new emerging issues and challenges in terms of local development. So that professionalization of, or making the network to be strengthened enough to take that responsibility is very important. And also making it a formal relationship, different other networks. For example, when Bindupi Varghese was talking about that JLGs in the agriculture or cultivation, it was a major step forward, step of Kudumbashree, and it is established. And we can see that a feminization of agriculture is happening in the field of agriculture in Kerala. There are a lot of people or women are still working, or they are claiming the land, reclaiming the land which is not usable, and they are a very strong presence. But being recognized as farmers, being recognized as the cultivators, having certain rights for getting entitlements and other support from the government, it should be like a formal type of a networking with other networks like Padashekara Samiti or farmers networks, and also with the cooperatives, agriculture cooperatives, production companies, and like many other networks are already there, which are not exclusively for women, but they are from other types. And also the unions, the trade unions and other unions in which women are not very active, which is connected to different other sorts of work. So that formal networking and strengthening that networking with other networks is also very important. So So we have to, the Kudumbasri has to think about, locally the leadership of Kudumbasri has to be strengthened enough, or think about how to make that inroads and relationship with other organizational setups and other institutions available in the local level. And also to address the issues of violence against women. No, it is not only to attend the issues which are coming to Kudumbasri, like Snehada help desk, or having awareness programs like that, but it should be more like to act as a community mechanism for preventing violence against women. Not after happening a violence, but to create an environment in which women and girls and other genders, transgenders and other people can live freely and express their to have their expressions freely. So how to address that? That's an important thing, in which I have to, I want to raise a note of critique about how do we see marriage and family and other things in our society. So Kudumbasri has to think about that. We have this Kudumbasri matrimony, but if we are again replicating the same model of marriages in the same sort of aspirations, same sort of set of things, and same sort of what is it called, ഒരു വിവാഹം നടക്കാൻ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ സാധാരണമായ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളെയും അതേ രീതിയിൽ ആവർത്തിക്കുന്ന രീതിയിലാണ് ഒരു മാട്രിമോണിയൽ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് നടക്കേണ്ടത്. So we have to rethink and revisit the programs where we are reinforcing the traditional values which are against women. So that also very important. So violence against women is not only addressing the issues of physical violence happening around in our neighborhood, but it is a larger agenda. So how to make the environment, make the society safer for women. That's important. So that's one thing. Okay. Yeah. So also reaching out the women who are not part of the our neighborhood groups. So now we are very proud to say that we have 45 lakhs of women in the Kudumbasri network, but still there are women who are not part of the network. So how to reach them? It may be not through the forming another Kudumbasri groups or another set of Kudumbasri Ailkutams. Maybe different forms we have to think about. How to make forums of women using the same network, but women who are not part of this. And also maybe they are not coming from the same economic background, not from the same background of social background or cultural background, but how to reach them? We have to think about that. How to reach them? Still many women are saying that Kudumbasri women out there, they are not part of that. There are Kudumbasri women, but they are not part of us. So how to break that barrier? How to reach out to the women who are maybe from other social groups, and also we are already having a self-criticism on the marginalized communities are not very active in the Kudumbasri networks. So how to encourage and how to develop special programs or special interventions for including women from that sections also. So in this thing, in all these activities, we may need some policy level interventions or some larger policy decisions may be needed. And the second point I want to emphasize is on developing possibilities of integration. So still we are working on integration, but many of the Kudumbasri, 1 minute, 2 minutes. I am bargaining with you. So for this possibility of integration, still Kudumbasri have several schemes and programs of integration with other departments. But basically Kudumbasri's role is to implement those programs. So rather than that, Kudumbasri has to take that leadership or the lead role to formulate integrated programs, larger programs, and run them. And that is the main thing. In that, I prefer to build up that programs conceptually and programmatically, and also to operate them from Kudumbasri side, utilizing the possibility of integration of other departments. So then it will get a focus from the gender or from the women's point of view. That will be more helpful for developing a program in that aspect. And in that, I think skill building, technology management trainings are very important. So skill building is a larger area. We have to look into that. In the presentation by Rajesh in the morning, he was talking about the professionalization. So for that professionalization, we need many levels of training. So that should be an important concern to be addressed. And there are large number of opportunities for providing care work, which is done by women now. Women are doing that without any remuneration. Women are doing all the care work for the families, child care, geriatric care, everything. So how to capitalize that need of the care work in our society, to share that care work professionally and profitably, and give the women a space and opportunity to work for their own, to enter into the workforce. It is for all the social groups that is needed, or the economic groups that it is needed. The people who can pay a higher price, they are also needed that, and people who need a help for leaving their children and go for the daily wage work also need that help. So we have to think about how to professionally manage, and with a different flexi type of payment, how to develop those professional networks of care work from through Kudumbashree. And okay, so address the gender specific issues of climate change and disaster reduction. That's another major thing. We are experiencing the changes of climate and associated things, but we need to think about from a gender point of view. That is one thing. But one more thing, I think. Yeah, this last one. So how to address the gender issues? I'm only reading the headlines because the chair is not permitting me more time. So how to ensure the well-being of women through better wages, professionalization, and quality improvement of their own domestic environment as well as their work environment. And better wages, we have to address it. It's already discussed. And addressing the issue of gender discrimination, culturally, socially mediated spaces and practices. There are a lot of normalization of the gender discriminatory practices in our society. So how to address it? This is more, not in very concrete terms, I cannot say that, but it's something we have to develop further. Creatively, we have to develop it further. And as the last word, I want to suggest that there should be capacity building for the Kudumbashree functionaries in all levels. There's a huge workforce working in Kudumbashree from the local level to the state office. So there should be the professionalization and capacity building of the work of the team, and ensuring their safer, better working environment and job security. And there should be an organizational revamping from the principles of gender mainstreaming as well as gender equity in the organization of Kudumbashree. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not going to give a summary of what Mini has said, except in that genesis of Kudumbashree, then of course the three headlines that she put forward for the path forward: engendering local governance, professionalization of and there were other small, the subcomponents of all these. And of course, the gender issues that she mentioned at the end, and a very important thing of how to reach out to the women who are not part of the self-help group of Kudumbashree. So may I now request Anandi, then the second speaker, to again adhere to 10 minutes.
I'm not taking any time for the introduction and all that. I'm happy that I'm here, and good evening to all, so that I can save time. Revamping or way forward for Kudumbashree, we can see it in two ways. We can continue, we can see it in two ways. One is that, how Kudumbashree can be developed. And the other one is how, with the presence of Kudumbashree, how Keralam and women of Keralam can be benefited out of Kudumbashree. In both ways, we can see the development. So in the first one, Kudumbashree, how to develop. Before that, I would like to tell one thing. When Kudumbashree was 5 years old, we have conducted a study on Kudumbashree. since it is 5 years old. KSSP has decided to conduct a study, and we have suggested some major things like 2 or 3 things have been materialized by now. One is that agriculture. Women Kudumbashree should get into agriculture. That has been done now. Second one was that, we were getting flowers for Onam from Tamil Nadu, which we were criticizing like anything with so many Kudumbashree people. Why can't we cultivate flowers in Kerala itself? For the last 2 Onams, we are cultivating Kudumbashree Onam, and we are cultivating flowers from inside Kerala. That also has been materialized. Third is that Kudumbashree should enter all the field where men dominate. So that also has been done. They have become wire people, plumbers, every area, all the construction work has been taken over by them. Now that I'm very happy that, for the first 5 years, whatever suggestions have been done, for the last 20 years, we were also silent observers of Kudumbashree. And now that Kudumbashree is 25 years old, I think, whatever suggestions are given can be materialized at least after 20 or 25 years. I hope so. See, the first thing is that Kudumbashree, how to develop Kudumbashree. One way is to attach all the research institute in Kerala with Kudumbashree. For example, Agriculture University. And we have quite a lot of institutions like Nutrition Research Center, CMFRI, Central Tuber and Crop Research, Kerala Council for Science and Technology. All these institutions should be affiliated to or connected with Kudumbashree and, make the production or whatever they are doing in the agricultural. Bindu was telling about 370,000 members in the agricultural field. So they can only 873 or somebody is with the nursery. Now that nursery area of nursery is developing like anything, because after post-COVID period, people have started, all the women homemakers have started cultivating vegetables and other things in the terrace. So now that it is increasing, we can make it, is it possible to make it to a commercially branded nurseries, and we can develop it into organic fertilizers, organic manure, and compost, etc. can be large scale. We can develop it into large scale, produce large scale, and Kudumbashree is becoming a big producer of agriculture and agricultural products. Is it possible? One has to think about it. And agro-based industries can be started by them. Organic fertilizers, I told you. And fish farming with the coastal women. Coastal area women are suffering like anything because, dry fish, they are no more making dry fish. Women's job was to make the dry fish in areas like Ponnani, etc. Where they are, they don't have any job at present because, the processing industries have developed. So now what we can do through Kudumbashree, that also we have to think about how it can be done with the dry fish processing. Can it be done, taken over by the Kudumbashree? Can we affiliate ourselves with the CMFRI and, get skill and, develop it and lead the coastal area to develop fishing? And how it can be done with the coastal women, Kudumbashree units can be started, and with the Kudumbashree units, by giving leadership, they can develop the coastal industry. That also is possible, but with the help of CMFRI, etc., etc. Possible with 3,78,810 members or whatever it is. And women cooperatives. Second is the women cooperatives. Food products classified cooperatives, specific area cooperatives should be identified and form cooperatives. We know in Kerala we have developed cooperatives for the last so many years, but we have also found out that there are certain anomalies connected with cooperatives, and by overcoming all the anomalies in the cooperative sector, we are developing a new a new type of cooperative with women. 2 types of cooperatives can be thought about. One is product cooperative and the other one is labor cooperatives. We have to see whether it is possible. That also is an approach to or a way to socialism. Because I still remember the women cooperatives, societies, labor societies have been conducted by the socialists in Russia long time back. and by overcoming this. Third thing is that can think of management and research center under Kudumbashree. That is essential. Management of these upcoming industries or agro industries, and also research should take place in that area. So where the social mobility of the Kudumbashree can be developed into social mobility and economic mobility. And to 2020-21, there is a Sarkar, Kerala government has proclaimed a 500 coffee kiosks. Can we make it, with the help of Malabar coffee program, with the help of Brahmagiri products? Is it possible for us to start it now with 5,000 Kerala, 5,000 coffee kiosks in Kerala with the help of Brahmagiri Coffee Board and Kudumbashree? Is it possible? One has to think about it. Many of our research institutions are half asleep, so we can wake them up through Kudumbashree's initiatives. Second thing is that, in Kerala, as Mini was telling here, the violence against women is increasing, the child suicides are increasing, domestic violence is increasing, the number of women in our homes are increasing. It's all overcrowded, and, what can we do? With so much of potential of Kudumbashree, why there is no end to this domestic violence and violence against women? That one has to think about. So what we can do? Mini was telling the same thing. And we have started crime mapping through Kudumbashree, but what can be, what type of follow-up we can do? See, we have, Kerala has experienced the Saksharata Yajnam, where, a woman or a man sitting inside home, in the kitchen or in the bathroom, also can hear this Neramuttum Vaigiyilla Koottugare Poru Paattu. So, even we have the songs and the message of Saksharata or the literacy has reached the inside of the house then. Can we suggest such a Saksharata Yajnam like gender avabodha Yajnam, gender awareness Yajnam with the Kudumbashree initiative, where, all the WCD, all the departments, women's organizations, service organizations, students, colleges, everybody under the Kerala society are uniting together to fight the patriarchy in the Kerala society. Is it possible? Can we conduct such a yajnam for the next 1 year, from March 8th to next March 8th? And, masculinity is also an issue, no doubt about it. Even after retirement, nobody wants a man. Sorry to say that. And now the labor force, 1,25,000 are in the care industry. Now that more than 3 lakhs are in agriculture in Kudumbashree, and Kudumbashree itself has got quite a lot of more than 5 lakhs of women working. Yes. Yeah. So naturally, can we think about this? For which, as somebody was telling in the earlier papers, that to curb the domestic violence, democratization of the family is essential. Of course, we are fighting for it, and we are talking about democratization of the family in Kerala for the last so many years. And is it possible through this Saksharata Yajnam? We are reaching each and every household and, talking to people, talking to male partners, and giving them conscientization like we have done for literacy. Is it possible? One has to think about it. For which, the Kudumbashree households should be democratized. Their families should be democratized first of all, for which, we are giving training for them, and we are giving conscientization to make their families democratic. And then, with that help, they are getting into the society, community, and, going to families and households and, conscientizing people. Is it possible? That way, can Kudumbashree stop the violence against women in Kerala? That also one has to think about. And so that, if we do that, it can shackle the patriarchy at home. And I think that only Kudumbashree can. So far, we have tried through so many other women's organizations, so many, other organizations, science organizations and all. We have tried a lot, but political organization we have tried. But now that Kudumbashree only can do this, make this fruitful, provided we are all standing together and, fight against the patriarchy in Kerala. So that's all. I think I have finished before she calls me. So one minute, once again, only one more thing. In the Kerala government is implementing the Vanida policy, women policy. And the draft has been made ready, in which, we have given the suggestion for Kudumbashree as the management and research institute under Kudumbashree has been given. That has to be developed, for which, we need the help of Kudumbashree and also the discussion that has taken place here. Thank you very much.
I think quite a few suggestions have been made for how to move forward towards transformation in women's position, not just at the individual level, as in the morning we were discussing. I think that Mishra from Ireland, that there are levels of empowerment, at the individual level, we all agree that Kudumbashree members have really gained a lot of empowerment, but this whole transformation of their position in society through a change in the unequal gender relations. And that's what is being discussed now. How do we do that? One is, of course, we all agree that Kudumbashree, with its presence in more than half the households in Kerala, should take the initiative to democratize the households. That's a very important suggestion and a very important step forward. The others were all made. I was asking for the headlines. There is whole question of engendering local governance, pushing Kudumbashree into new areas, larger areas, and better professional trainings. So I'm not going to summarize that. I think you will do a little bit in your report, but I'm very happy, and I must thank Kudumbashree for calling me for this, because Kudumbashree has always been, what should I say, a beacon of, a beacon of light in our lives, because of the way they actually managed to make the self-help groups sustainable. We've been having self-help groups like Dwakra. Earlier programs were there, but they just fizzled out in a few. But here, of course, it's a question that the environment has become so insecure, so absolutely fragile and vulnerable in terms of work, that there is definitely an interest of members themselves to be in collectives. So can I say that we all agree that collectives, or whether in the form of cooperatives, whether in the form of self-help groups, are really essential for now women and perhaps men also to move forward. So let me thank Kudumbashree once again for having called me, and I'm always happy to respond to their requests and the team which worked on it. And one thing I was very impressed was that everybody spoke in English. I'm not being what should I say, an anti-national or an anti-Keralite, but I think it's very nice that in international conferences, and also because you people are now moving out of Kerala, it's essential for you to know English. And I was very happy that even in all the sessions I sat, everybody spoke in English. So that's also one big improvement I found among the Kudumbashree members. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mriduleepan, Srimati Mini Sukumar, Dr. T.K. Anandi, for a wonderful session. Now I would like to invite our Executive Director, Kudumbashree Jafar Malik IAS, to give away the memento to our speakers as a token of love and gratitude. We have mementos to Dr. Mriduleepan, our moderator. Yeah. We have speaker Srimati Mini Sukumar. And Dr. T.K. Anandi. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'ams. All the plenary sessions are over. Now we are going into the last session of this two-day international conference, panel discussion on crafting strategies for Kudumbashree. The moderator will be Mr. Naveen C. Nair. It's closed. Okay, sorry. We are skipping that session and directly going to valedictory session of this 2-day international conference on Revitalizes women empowerment strategies in the post-COVID world. Now I would like to invite on stage Dr. Kavita A, District Mission Coordinator, Kudumbashree Thrissur, Dr. Joy Ilaman, Director General, Kerala Institute of Local Administration, Jafar Malik IAS, Executive Director, Kudumbashree, Dr. Monisha Yu, District Planning Officer, Gender, Kudumbashree, Sri M. Krishnadas, Chamber of Municipal Chairman, State President, Sri Jiju PLX, Member State Planning Board, Kerala, Naveen C. Nair, Chief Operating Officer, NRLM Program Officer, Gender, Dr. Ajit Khariyat, Professor, Urban Chair, Kerala Institute of Local Administration, Sri Prasad, ADMC, District Kudumbashree Mission, Thrissur. I request all the dignitaries, please come to the stage for valedictory function. We are moving to the end of this 2-day international conference, Revitalizes, on women empowerment strategies in the post-COVID world. I hope it's been a good use of your time. And I would like to appreciate all the speakers and panelists and moderates of all plenary sessions. In a few minutes, we are going to end our international conference on Revitalizes, women empowerment strategies in the post-COVID world. The certificate will be distributed during this valedictory function. I would like to invite all the dignitaries, please come to the stage for valedictory function. Now, we are moving on to the valedictory function of this 2-day international conference on Revitalizes, women empowerment strategies in the post-COVID world. I would like to invite Dr. Kavita A, District Mission Coordinator, Kudumbashree Thrissur, to deliver welcome address.
Good evening to all. Over the last 2 days, we have deep insights into several challenges and strategies of women empowerment in the post-COVID era. We had a fruitful discussion on the same topic. Academicians, scholars, social workers, activists, Kudumbashree chairpersons, Kudumbashree members were presented their papers and shared their experiences and ideas related to the women empowerment. Now we are in the valedictory function. Here, I am welcome to all of you for this valedictory function. First of all, I welcome the Director General of KILA, Dr. Joy Element, sir, who is presenting the presidential address here. I welcome you, sir. Valedictory address is given by Shri Jafar Malik IAS, sir, our Executive Director of Kudumbashree. I again welcome you, sir. For felicitation address, we have our state program officers. Naveen, Manoj, sir, all are here. I welcome all of you, sir. Again, I welcome all of you present here for the valedictory function. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita A, District Mission Coordinator, Kudumbashree Thrissur, to deliver welcome address for delivering welcome address. And now Dr. Joy Element, Director General, Kerala Institute of Local Administration, will preside the valedictory function. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, friends. Yesterday, I had actually taken enough time to talk on what I consider as the narrative of Kudumbashree. So, I do not want to talk much now. Hope you had a wonderful conference, especially new insights coming in from across the globe through online as well as virtual as well as face-to-face, and various discussions which have happened, especially in the smaller breakout sessions. So I think I should actually hand over this podium to the key speaker of the day, Sri Jafar Malik IAS, who is the Executive Director of Kudumbashree. I think we need to hear from the horse's mouth. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Joy Element, Director General, Kerala Institute of Local Administration, for presidential address. Now I would like to invite our Executive Manager, Kudumbashree, Jafar Malik IAS, for inaugural address.
Good evening, all. First of all, I am very happy to be part of this. I could not come yesterday. I was supposed to be here for 2 days, but due to some other engagements, I could not come yesterday, and I could join it only from today. But let me, before I begin or before I come to the topic, let me appreciate the efforts of District Mission Thrissur, that they could think this kind of conference. And also, although the planning was going on for quite some time, it was originally planned in March, April, but I think because of various issues, it got postponed. Availability of speakers, availability of venue and other details. And also we had the 25-year celebration of Kudumbashree from in March, April, May, back to back we had programs. So finally we had to postpone it. Also, I would like to thank Kila for joining in this initiative, because without the support of DG and without the support of Kila, I don't think it would have happened this beautifully. So my appreciation and my thanks to DG Kila also and entire Kila team for making this happen. Although this conference, this workshop is planned on a particular topic, which is like post-COVID, how it affected the functioning of women collectives and how it affected Kudumbashree entirely, and how what next on the topic it was planned. But then from morning, what I am listening or what I am observing is that this workshop has gone much beyond the original idea. So we have speakers who are actually familiar with Kudumbashree, in very deeply connected with Kudumbashree, like Mini Sukumar Madam, Mrdulepan Madam, Dr. Anandi, and other speakers, Devika. And also we have speakers who may not be familiar with Kudumbashree, but who are very much familiar with the women collectives and how the overall picture of women collectives. So I think we got very good inputs. Now it is on us, or maybe it is on Kudumbashree, that how best we can utilize those inputs and how best we can bring it in our implementation side. So coming to the topic, or coming to the theme on which this conference is being organized, we all know that COVID has had affected everyone and every class or every section of the society in some or other way. Similarly, it affected Kudumbashree also, no matter it is Kudumbashree's enterprise or Kudumbashree's activities, the social or maybe psychological impact on Kudumbashree members who are also women. So there were multiple pressures at that time, from family side, from society side, from business side. So that was an era where lot of effect has come on the functioning of collectives, or maybe functioning of energies also. But then there is a positive aspect in it, or positive impact which Kudumbashree got from COVID. So I can cite the examples by which COVID has actually benefited Kudumbashree. So we have, you all know, we have lot of micro enterprise units which actually suffered during COVID. But there was another phase of it, that lot of our micro enterprise units could actually produce masks and sanitizers and all, because of which they got the profit during that time also. Similarly, PPE kits and other things which were in demand during COVID. One more example, we all know that the one of the major initiatives of Kudumbashree, which is Janaki Hotel community kitchen model, had evolved during the COVID period, because Kudumbashree was given the responsibility of supplying food to community who could not get because of various barriers. And this idea evolved, the idea of Janaki Hotel evolved, and everyone knows that how systematically or how effectively it could deliver what was given to Kudumbashree. So that was another model which Kudumbashree got or successfully implemented during the COVID time. Similarly, we have example of waste management. We all know that waste management had become a big issue during the COVID because of non-collection, non-segregation happening on time, and then this entire force of Harita Karma Sena came together, and the actual I won't say it evolved during that time, but the system was there, but the kind of push which came during COVID, which again helped the entire model to come up with good. Also, you all may be knowing, I think today Devika talked about the surveillance system, although she was talking it in different contexts, but we all know that one of the major surveillance system we all used during Kudumbashree, because I was in district that time during COVID, I was in district that time. So I remember that how Kudumbashree network or Kudumbashree women could help us in establishing a better surveillance system. So that is again one thing which had come positively, or which had come positive during the COVID challenge, which because of the strong network or because of the strong grassroots level connection, Kudumbashree could deliver. Similarly, we had the counseling. We all know COVID, because of COVID, a lot of people had gone into a kind of mental health issues. A lot of children face that. A lot of women who are running families face that. And at some point of time, people wanted some kind of counseling. So with the established system of community counselors, and with the established, or in fact, there were a lot of new programs also planned that time, tele-counseling to the elderlies and all. So that also happened because of the established network of Kudumbashree, or maybe to the roots into the society or community. These all ideas emerged and we could successfully do that. So these are the positive sides which COVID gave to Kudumbashree. Negative, I told that already. The most negatively affected was the enterprise sector, because many enterprises which had just started, they had to close and they could not again open it. But I personally feel, or maybe the idea which after coming to Kudumbashree, which I was pushing, or maybe in the today's workshop also we could get some sense of that, is that we should now more focus towards the service, or towards the caregiving services, caregiving type services, or maybe the entire service sector. Because Kudumbashree has traditionally been into the product and maybe some kind of trade services also. And most of our enterprises are focused on product delivery, or product, some kind of product oriented. But then when service comes into picture, like let's say today we have, especially Kerala has a big urban population, urban area. And we all know the kind of services we need in an urban area today are day to day increasing. And there are very less or very few service providers who can actually provide the service. There are providers who exploit people also in various senses. But when a brand like Kudumbashree enters into that area, that gives a kind of credibility, because Kudumbashree has that it's a government run machinery, or it's a community run machinery. So that kind of seal also Kudumbashree has. So I think many areas which are yet untouched, with our focus more on the service side, we can actually touch in the coming years. So our idea also, like our idea in the entire enterprise sector, in the entire this sector, we are also pushing the idea of providing more service oriented, or more service oriented enterprises, so that we can actually go into that area. So one of the idea which we are now working is that we bring a chain of caregivers within Kudumbashree, and we supply it to society, maybe hospitals, maybe people who need them. We know there is a big elderly population who are actually residing alone in Kerala, and they need some kind of care providers or caregivers who can support them. That is one area. Geriatric care is another area. Home care is another area. Baby care, day care, all these things. And I don't think in Kerala today any other agency could do it better than Kudumbashree, because there are various reasons. One, because of the grassroots network which Kudumbashree has, we know the demands, we know how to supply, we know how to fill that gap. Secondly, as I told earlier, that Kudumbashree, whenever the name of Kudumbashree comes, it comes with a credibility. Even though it can be a product, it can be any other trade or something, but then it has a credibility that okay, we won't be exploited or we won't be cheated when it is Kudumbashree. So we should actually utilize that kind of credibility and push our this also, our agenda also, or not agenda is the wrong word, but our a kind of what we want to do or what we want to push, we should maximum do that. Now, coming to the present programs of Kudumbashree, which are ongoing and which can be connected to this one. I think the entire theme of this conference is also gender specific. So in the last session, just immediate session before this, the idea came about how should we democratize our own Kudumbashree households, and a kind of idea we should push in a big campaign mode, and then we should achieve that. So that is very welcoming idea, because we all know that even though we tell at multiple times that we are more democratic and we have in our society we have full freedom for women, but I still feel, not only me, but then there is still a gap. Now recently there was a discussion, so we were actually searching few Kudumbashree women or Kudumbashree members for doing some enterprise in Kochi, and we tried multiple times, and but we were not getting enough people who can, or enough people who show the interest. So then we had little bit gone into detail why it is not coming. And one of the member, or one of the person whom we were talking, had given a very interesting reason for this, that in Kerala still there are families where if women don't come back before 6 o'clock, they will start blaming her, that why were you out for so long, and why were you not coming home on time. And that is the reason that women don't want to choose a profession where they'll have to stay away from house beyond the time. Now, when we talk about enterprise, when we talk about the area of intervention, we know that there is a risk factor always. So we may have to sometime stay longer in our at our place of work, or we may have to put more hours. So in that time, if we don't have anyone to look after the family or look after the business at home, then again there will be a dilemma that which I should focus, this or this, and that also may be the reason why women are not coming forward to take up that enterprise. So similar kind of examples we can see in our society, and these are the areas where Kudumbashree need to, or maybe our community need to put more attention. Now, talking about the idea of bringing more democratic picture within the family, so that is very welcoming idea. But we know when we start that, or when we start pushing that, there will be lot of resistance within the family, within the society. So we need to maybe think beyond that and put something which doesn't affect the the kind of idea which we are pushing, because we know sometimes we push something and we want that to happen, but then there may be issues which are beyond our control which will not allow that to happen. So pushing that idea in a manner that society accept it, or the members themselves accept it, is important. So I think right now what we are working is right now the theme, because we were also thinking after completion of 25 years and Kudumbashree being an organization or being a network which is today in all the areas, now how to channelize that energy, or how to provide more things which can lead maybe for next 10, 15, 25 years. And then in as a first step to that idea of back to school came. You all may be aware. So tomorrow is the launching actually. So now what we are thinking is that now let us bring our energy members or Ailkutam members to a place and tell them about the important aspects of Kudumbashree in a classroom model. Once that is done, or once that idea is communicated, then maybe as a next step, we will bring that specific campaign on something, let's say gender, or maybe employment, or maybe poverty. So once they are oriented into into this, because no matter whatever number we say, 46 lakhs, 3 lakhs, Algorithm, we know that there are still gaps at grassroots level. There may be CDS, or there may be Algorithm which are not actively participating in all the activities due to various reasons. So our purpose is to first bring everyone into the picture, orient them that this is what Kudumbashree is, or this is what which we are going through, and this is how we see the future. And then push a kind of bigger campaign or bigger activities. This now lot of gender related activities every year, a lot of programs Kudumbashree plan and do, a lot of enterprise activities we do, but then whether it is reaching to the last person or everybody or everyone out of 46 lakhs or 45 lakhs are taking that in a similar manner is still a question, because that kind of assessment or that kind of study we actually didn't promote much. So with this campaign, maybe once that picture comes out, maybe after that, including this idea, a lot of other ideas can be pushed to the community. And the model which we are today, or which we are which we see Kudumbashree today, maybe in another 5, 10, 15 years, we can go much beyond the mandate which we have already gone beyond the mandate which we had. But then there are still many things which are still Kudumbashree has not opened and Kudumbashree has not touched, which in the coming era which we need to touch. So these are few things which I wanted to tell you. I know there is a shortage of time, so I don't want to go into much detail, although I love talking to the audience like this, because the ideas which we discussed in last 1.5 days, you all are going back to work, and maybe a lot of Kudumbashree mission staff and lot of Kudumbashree community representation is there. So these all ideas which you have heard here are going to help you in some or other way in your work. But then when we do that, we also should have a bigger picture in mind, that what are we actually doing, or what is the organization we are part of, and what is our mandate, what are the things which we are planning for future. So that is why I touched few things. Once again, I am happy to be part of this, and I really appreciate the idea which is put forward in the manner of this conference, because organization like Kudumbashree or the community structure like Kudumbashree, there would always be a gap, or always be a possibility of introspection, and not only introspection, but the kind of introspection which can actually lead us to the next level. So in that way, I think this conference is fully successful. I once again appreciate District Mission, and once again thanks Kila for making this happen. And I thank all the speakers who participated in this, including our international guests, and all the community members and mission staff who participated and listened for continuous 2 days. So my best wishes to all of you. Let this workshop, or let this conference be a guiding light for all of us in the coming journey of Kudumbashree. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Executive Director Kudumbashree Jafar Malik IAS, for inaugural address. Now I would like to invite Dr. Kavita A, District Mission Coordinator Kudumbashree Thrissur, to give away a memento to our Executive Director Kudumbashree Jafar Malik IAS. Okay, sir. Now we have a speech by guest of honor by Dr. Ajit Kaliat, Professor, Urban Chair, Kerala Institute of Local Administration. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. respected Chair, Executive Director Kudumbashri, other distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais. It's great to be here to hear the deliberations that preceded this valedictory session, and I'm privileged to get a small window to communicate to larger audience who are constantly immersed in shaping and reshaping our society's future. So the collective power of Kudumbashri, which was on display yesterday and today, I just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. One, as Sri Jafar Malik mentioned, we are moving to an urban reality. Kerala is going to be about 93% urbanized in the next 10 years, and our societal realities are certainly going to be different. So we will have to brace towards a new service economy, which might start with attending people who are getting elderly, which might also be related to receiving and supporting in settling people who are coming from other regions, other territories of India, because we are also becoming a multi-ethnic society. So there will be new challenges, new conflicts, as we keep hearing day to day. Every society which has progressed has gone through these pain points. You look at European countries which are highly urbanized. People who have moved from various parts of the world have gone through these challenges of settling and understanding and then embedding themselves into this reality. So here in Kerala, we are also going through that scenario. We are going to have about 15 lakh, which is about 52% of Kerala's population from other states. And it's also an opportunity to kind of identify new products and services, and also expanding the footprint of Kudumbashri to other territories. One another area which you might consider, again, this is to place in front of the distinguished speakers here. There are other territories which are also looking at learning from this powerful experience of Kerala, which Kudumbashri exhibited in the last 25 years, the rapidly urbanizing regions around the world. South Asian countries and the entire Africa is looking at possibilities and ways and means to kind of do women empowerment, and so itself building peaceful societies. Women have a critical role in building peaceful families, peaceful societies, and I'm sure the next 25 years or beyond, what Kudumbashri can proceed from here will certainly see great feat from Kudumbashri and the leadership it is endowed with. My best wishes to all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ajit Khalid, Professor, Urban Chair, Kerala Institute of Local Administration. Now, Dr. Monisha Yu, District Program Manager, Gender Kudumbashri, will present the report of the conference. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. A two-day international conference, Revitalizes 2023, began on Friday at Kila. It is organized by District Kudumbashri Mission in convergence with Kila. The conference, themed on women empowerment strategies in the post-COVID world, was inaugurated by the Honorable District Panchayat President P.K. Davis, Dr. Joy Eleman, Director General of Kila, Besnilal S., the President of Panchayat President Association, K.R. Jojo, Kudumbashri Governing Body member, and other dignitaries felicitated. The former head of the Department of Social Work of Catholic University, Nairobi, Dr. Novi Paul, and Kudumbashri District Mission Coordinator, Dr. Kavita A., launched the Book of Abstracts. The morning session of the first day saw the paper presentation of Professor Silvia Cataldi from the Sapienza University, Italy. She presented the theme, "Why is it crucial to overcome gender gap?" which studied in detail about struggle, discrimination, and violences faced by women in the public work and family. Dr. Johnson Mawole from St. Augustine University, Tanzania, presented a paper on self-help groups and women empowerment, in which he placed suggestions on how SHGs can be enhanced to help women empowerment in Kerala. In the second plenary session, in the theme discussed was bridging the divide, gender integration and inclusive societies. In that session, Dr. Binidavi Thambi was the keynote speaker. She talked about the topic gender divide and how it affects women and measures to be taken to overcome it. The transgender activist Vichiraj Malliga confronted on the low representation of transgender community in the Kudumbashree. The tribal activist Chitra Nilambur talked about the lack of representation of the tribal women in the Kudumbashree activities. She added that there is a lack of opportunities for tribal women to come forward in the society. Susan Michiri, the head of Department of Social Work, Community Development, Hope Africa, she talked about the indigenous aged women and empowerment after the post-COVID period. She added that gender equality is necessary for a transformative society. The next speaker was Catherine Binelli, research scholar, Kenya, South Africa, and Dr. Amarda KPN from Kila also talked about the stereotypes on gender equality and how there should be equal representation to everyone. With that, the conference of the first day ended. In the third plenary session on the second day of Revitalizes conducted at the Swaraj Auditorium was on the theme Collective Prosperity, Women's SHG Catalyzing Economic Independence. The session was moderated by Dr. Layana from Women's Studies Department, Calicut University of Kerala. The keynote speaker, Dr. Norvi Paul, former HOD of the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, he presented the topic Challenges Women Empowerment in the Post-COVID Era. He talked about how women in workplace and leadership have come down, and this should be changed to better women empowerment. The next speaker to Dr. Bindu P. Varghese, Chief of Planning Board, Kerala, pointed out the significance of the economic empowerment of women and how Kudumbashree helped women come out of their comfort zones. Mr. Paris Kerich, Social Health Complaint Officer, Kenya, was speaking about cultural and communal practices on womanhood by mainly showcasing the conditions of drive in Africa through literature reviews. Followed by Dr. Rajesh, Senior Urban Fellow, Kila, said how there is disparity in remuneration given and that Kudumbashree should work more to reach out to the outer world. Dr. Kavida, Assistant Professor, Department of Social Work, PhD College, Coimbatore, speak about role of higher education on women empowerment and better ways to promote womanliness, and that entrepreneurship should be promoted among women. The fourth plenary session was on the topic Rural Women Empowerment Strategies, moderated by Dr. Vanisri Joseph, Assistant Professor, Center for Gender Studies and Department, NARD Hyderabad, followed by the first speaker was Dr. J. Devika, Professor of Center for Development Studies, Kerala, talked about the reasons of poverty and what to do to reduce them and the role of Kudumbashree in it. Dr. Nida Sharma from Ireland, she is the development activist and she, University of Limerick, Ireland, talks about the topic rights, agency, and empowerment, training women to speak about their problem, followed by Dr. Seema Bhaskar, lead gender and social inclusion, transform rural India, mainly denotes the health issues faced by women. Faced by women belongs to different age groups. When violence against women and absence of poverty, rights, lack of information, inclusion, and financial status makes women to work as entrepreneurs even after getting land. Srimati Soya Thomas, National Gender Consultant, Curriculum Development, integration was talking about the community structure of Kudumbashree. The final and the fifth plenary session was about charting the path forward, women SDGs, crafting strategies, and shaping policy formulation. Srimati Mridalipan ma'am was the honorable chair of that session. Ms. Mini Kumar and Dr. Anandi participated, development history, Kudumbashree, and how Kudumbashree is going to function from now and on gave suggestions. And altogether 26 papers were presented and various scholars from the different academics and the universities were participated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Monisha, you for the presentation. I would like to invite Sri Radhakrishnan, Assistant District Mission Coordinator, Kudumbashree Thrissur, for felicitation.
Respected dignitaries in the dais. It's a proud moment for me, be a member of this organizing committee. I think this 2 days conference is a good learning experience for all. And I hope the conference will give a sense of direction to the programs of gender programs of Kudumbashree mission. I wish in future also the Kudumbashree mission will be able to conduct this type of wonderful programs in academic programs. The papers presented by eminent scholars in this conference will be compiled and published by the NIRD. I express my sincere thanks to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Radhakrishnan, Assistant District Mission Coordinator, District Kudumbashree Mission, Thrissur. Now, I invite Sri Nirmal, Assistant District Mission Coordinator, District Kudumbashree Mission, Thrissur, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good evening, most honorable chair, dais, delegates, and all other audience gathered here. I think, well, thank you. I think for these 2 days, we were enjoying Kudumbashree. We were enjoying how world was looking upon Kudumbashree, what world was expecting from us, and how they are celebrating Kudumbashree. Many scholars, academicians, research scholars, researchers, activists, transgenders, and from many administrators and from all parts of the world gathered to us through online and physically to make this event so colorful. And I still believe this would be a milestone and another milestone in the path of Kudumbashree for moving forward in a new vision. And hereby, I am to deliver the vote of thanks. First of all, I thank our Executive Director, Jafar Malik sir, for being here and make us proud for conducting such a ceremony. Thank you, sir. I thank our DMC, Dr. Kavita Madam, for making such a great ceremony colorful. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, this seminar became so colorful because of these ambience. And for this, we have to thank Dr. Joel Lemon sir and the whole killer team. So Joel Lemon sir, very thankful to you for assisting this. And yesterday itself, I told the brain and sweat behind this seminar. It's Dr. Monisha, the District Program Manager for Gender from Thrissur. Thank you, Monisha ma'am. Once again, actually, our Executive Director, respected Executive Director itself, thank Kila for giving us such a good opportunity and by assisting us. Once again, I thanks Amrita Madam and all Kila members, Kila staff for assisting us. Our state office members, Naveen sir, Manoj sir, Sindhu ma'am, everyone are present here. I'm very thankful for them for making this event colorful. We have a good speech from Ajit Khalid sir for inspiring us. Thank you, sir, for making such a wonderful presentation. We have Bindu Varghese ma'am, Mini Suguma ma'am, have their sessions wonderful, which will give us a very good vision for moving forward. Thank you, ma'am, for that. I wish to express my token of gratitude to Novi Paul sir for making from the first step itself. He was with us to make this very eventful function. Thank you, sir. We have moderators, speakers, keynote speakers from all over the world. I thank everyone, each and every one of them in the name of Kudumbashree for making this event so proud. We have some overseas guests for us. We thank for you for being here. One more thing, we have a very good session from the life experience from our Kudumbashree members. For that, I express a very gratitude to our serious members, serious chairpersons, and NRO mentors and all for making that session a very live session. Thank you all. I thank that staff who did technical stuff for giving us a very good experience of this seminar. Thank you all. One more. We have an anchor, a very good presenter, Steffi ma'am, a social work HOD from St. Mary's College. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks from Kudumbashree. And once again, thank you for all for gathering here. Everyone, academicians, researchers, and all those who had submitted papers, presented papers, and gathered here, everyone, our staffs, district mission staff, our office staff, DPMs, VCs, everyone. Thank you all for making this very colorful. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sri Nirmal, Assistant District Mission Coordinator, Kudumbashree District Mission, Thrissur. This is the end of revitalization. Okay. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Kavita A, District Mission Coordinator, Kudumbashree, Thrissur, to give a memento to our Executive Director, Kudumbashree Jafar Malik IAS. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. This is the end of Revitalization International Conference on Women Empowerment Strategies in the Post-COVID World, organized by District Kudumbashree Mission in collaboration with Kerala Institute of Local Administration. But the efforts are go on, miles to go before sleep. Participants, you will be received the certificates through online. Please fill your Google form if not registered yet. If registered not yet, and I thank you for giving us your precious time. I hope it's been a good use of your time. Thank you for joining us. I would like to express my appreciation to our chief guests, speakers, panelists, moderators for their valuable contribution to our international conference on women empowerment strategies in the post-COVID world. My deepest gratitude goes to all who attended the conference and helped to make it a successful one. Goodbye. See you next time with lots of love. This is Steffi. I'm signing off. Thank you so much. And we have a photo session now. All are invited. I request everyone, please come to the stage and we have a group photo session.